Tech for Senior, episode 81. It is October 11th, 2021. We have about 83 people in our Zoom meeting and a whole bunch more over on YouTube. So welcome everybody. Welcome to the show, and happy Canadian Thanksgiving for all our Canadian friends today. This is our Canadian Thanksgiving Day. Now, I have an embarrassing thing that happened to me. Of course, Gail and I knew that Thanksgiving was coming, but we got the wrong weekend. And so Gail was at church last Thursday preparing for choir, and they started singing Thanksgiving hymns, and she was thinking, what the heck's going on? It isn't until the following week, and we had it wrong. So, when you're retired, you don't remember dates. Dates aren't really that important. So we did have a turkey, and we rustled everyone around, and we had some people over yesterday, and we had a big turkey dinner. But how embarrassing. But I guess when you're retired and your kids don't live in this area, it doesn't really make a difference. It just means Costco isn't open today, so I can't go to Costco. Darn it anyway. So that's my sad story, but we did have a great Thanksgiving dinner last night. So I wanted just to welcome everybody who is on our YouTube feed, and just to explain how the show is going today. We will, of course, be, this is broadcast to YouTube as well. The show today will be for an hour on our Zoom meeting, and then we will have a question and answer period for about 20 minutes. And then we will go to half past the hour will be our premiere service from 1 year ago. And 1 year ago today, I talked about the making of Tech for Senior, how it actually Tech for Senior is made, broadcast, how the YouTube version is created. And it was a two-part series. So if you're interested in how to produce, how to make videos, how to upload them, how to edit them, that's all part of the two-part series that we'll be talking about. And Hewie, you did a great talk on, it was making GIFs from PowerPoint. Remember that? Do you remember that talk? You're muted. You remember that? That was a great talk. I watched it.
Yeah, I remember it word for word.
Anyway, it was a good talk. So those will be on the premiere service that will be happening at half past the hour. Those of you over on YouTube, we will be, of course, the meeting will carry on for about 40 minutes for you. And then just before the music starts, the music section starts, we'll be ending our YouTube broadcast. If you want to participate in the Q&A, just pop over. We've got, what have we got? 87. We still got some places for you over here. You can pop over to our Zoom broadcast. Have we got some noise coming in the back?
Yeah, I
taken
just
care of.
Okay, great. Anyway, so that's what happens. So let me introduce our staff today. Hewie, you had a busy day yesterday.
Yeah, we had a really good crowd for my Windows Special Interest Group. And then right after that was the main meeting of the Central Florida Computer Society. And Bob G was the speaker. So we had a good attendance for that as well. So it was a long, busy day. And I didn't get on Jim and Chris Gould's show because I was too busy.
There you go. Well, it was both were great. I think, as I told you earlier, we had one on one screen and the other on the other, so it was sort of interesting. Yeah, it was great. Bob,
I had the same problem Hewie did.
You're a busy guy. Yes, you are. You're busy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Very good. Any news? So are you getting Starlink? Have you heard any more? What's happening with your internet?
No. I'm actually waiting for Verizon to finish putting up that tower. When they do, I'm within earshot of 5G.
Now we're talking. That'll be great. Yeah, super good. Okay, great. And let's see, Dewey, how the heck are you doing?
Not bad for an old guy.
We look forward to I hear you went to a movie last night.
Actually, was on Saturday. I decided to go to No Time to Die.
Did you like it?
Because I wanted to learn more about the cars and everything. And I got quite an education. And for a recovering stroke victim who usually doesn't walk over 100 yards, I had to walk a total of 12 blocks. And it turned out to be marvelous. It's wonderful therapy. I'm walking much better now. So that's one of the main benefits I got from the movie.
Hey, there you go. There you go. And Ray, where the heck are you? Ray, where are you? How come I don't see you?
I'm here.
Where? Put your hand up. Where?
Oh, you want my?
Oh, I see you. Oh, you're down there. Okay, I got you. No, I got you.
Yeah, I get moved around, I guess.
You got it. How come you're down there?
I don't know. Speaking of the raising the hand, I noticed during the conversation in the prequel here to our show that a few people actually were physically raising their hands because they wanted to say something. So it's always good to remind them that what we like them to do is click on the reactions button on the bottom, and there's an option to raise hand, and that way we can all easily see it. And as Ron was pointing out, you get moved to the top when you do that.
Indeed. And we were talking earlier about vinyl records. I posted an article on our Facebook page today about the tremendous problem with vinyl records, and they don't have any of the components to produce them anymore. There's very few factories, and everybody wants them. So this is like a crazy situation, right? Yeah,
if you look at any of the new music that's coming out by the current day artists, they always give you the option now of vinyl, and that it's about $10 a unit more. So if you're buying a CD for $15, you can expect the vinyl to be at least $25. But yeah, you're right. And I said earlier, the younger folks who never really who didn't experience vinyl, now I kind of say, hey, this is kind of fun to have the album art truly large enough that you can easily read it, to put the platter on the turntable, to add the stylus to it. They actually like that experience, and I think that's what's driving it is the younger folks who didn't have the opportunity when most of us were younger. And I'll say one quick thing about the high-res audio that Steve pointed out. You're going to hear more and more about that because the streaming services are now doing that. The Tidal streaming service has done that since its inception. That's why they charge $20 a month instead of $10. But now Amazon Music Unlimited has started streaming in high-res audio, and this is a higher quality than even CDs.
Very interesting. Okay. Well, thank you so much. We'll look forward to your music, the toe tapping music you're going to have for us today. We look forward to that later on in the show. I want to thank Tom Euler for his generous donation in our Ko-fi fund this last week. So thanks Tom very much. News today, there's a couple of things I thought I would mention briefly. One is Google is finally shutting down fiber TV. And Google is shutting down fiber TV, finally admits traditional offerings are outdated. Streaming television offerings have been quite literally overtaken the world. And back in February, it decided that it was going to shut Google Fiber down. And they have given everybody, it looks like, a Google TV and Chromecast device for their so that they can now do streaming Google TV rather than fiber TV. So that was interesting. And last but not least, I just wanted to share my screen and show you something that, let's see, we'll come back here. And I just wanted to show you this. If you can see this, what you're going to be seeing coming out is this is the new Amazon Fire TV 55-inch. There was an article this morning on this. Now, this is the Canadian site, but Amazon is going to be producing these, and they're probably made by TCL. So this is called the Series 4, and they'll have Series 4, 5, and 6. And these are the same series that TCL uses for their TVs, but these are going to be under license produced. These are going to be Amazon Fire TVs. These will be a very good quality TV, and they're going to be really cheap and very, very good value. They're not available yet. They're coming, and they will be probably out in the next couple of weeks. So I thought everyone should watch for those. This is the 55-inch, but this is Canadian. You'll probably be able to pick up a 55-inch for under $500, and these will come built in with all the equipment that you need. And so so just watch for those. That's a big change because Amazon TVs that of course were made in the past always were not actually produced by Amazon. So this is a new thing for Amazon, and it's going to be some good TVs at a very, very reasonable price. Bob, are you ready to roll?
Yes, sir. Oh, I have to play it too, huh?
Yeah.
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending October 8th, 2021. Facebook explains how its October 4th outage started. According to Facebook's Vice President of Infrastructure, Santosh Janardhan, the outage started with what should have been a routine maintenance. At some point on 10/4/2021, a command was issued that was supposed to assess the availability of the backbone network that connects all of Facebook's disparate computing facilities. Instead, the order unintentionally took those connections down. Janardhan says a bug in the company's internal audit system did not properly prevent the command from executing. That issue caused a secondary problem that ultimately made yesterday's outage into the international incident that it became. When Facebook's DNS servers couldn't connect to the company's primary data centers, they stopped advertising the Border Gateway Protocol routing information that every device on the internet needs to connect to a server. The end result was that our DNS servers became unreachable even though they were still operational, said Janardhan. This made it impossible for the rest of the internet to find our servers. Facebook's loss was Telegram's gain. Telegram adds 70 million users during the Facebook outage. Instant message service Telegram says it gained 70 million new users on Monday when Facebook and its subsidiaries, Instagram, Messenger, and WhatsApp, were all down for a period of about 6 hours. At the end of 2020, Telegram claimed to have close to 500 million active users, and the app has been downloaded over 1 billion times. Messaging app Signal also reported gaining millions of new users during the downtime. Facebook attributed the outage to a faulty configuration change made on their end. Imagine what could happen in the case of a cyber attack, said Avast security evangelist Louis Carones. It could have been worse, with consequences that last longer. We need to be prepared to have alternate means of working and communicating and not depend just on a single platform. For more, see TechCrunch. FluBot Android malware now spreads via fake security updates. The FluBot malware has switched to a new and likely more effective lure to compromise Android devices, now trying to trick its victims into infecting themselves with the help of a fake security updates warning them of FluBot infections. As New Zealand's Computer Emergency Response Team warned earlier today, the message on FluBot's new installation page is only a lure designed to instill a sense of urgency and pushing potential targets to install malicious apps. Your device is infected with the FluBot malware. Android has detected that your device has been infected, the new FluBot installation page says. FluBot is an Android spyware that aims to steal financial login and password data from your device. You must install an Android security update to remove FluBot. If you are seeing this page, it does not mean you are infected with FluBot. However, if you follow the false instructions from this page, you will infect your device, CertNG explained. Read more on Bleeping Computer. Hacker leaks 125 gigabyte of Twitch data. An anonymous hacker posted 125 gigabytes of data to 4chan on Wednesday, claiming it was the entirety of live streaming service Twitch. from source code to member information. The hacker wrote that the leak was intended to foster more disruption and competition in the online video streaming space because their community is a disgusting, toxic cesspool. The data dump did contain Twitch's source code with full comment history, creator payout information, client lists, proprietary SDKs, and internal AWS services used by Twitch. Other Twitch proprietaries such as IGDB and CurseForge, an unreleased rival platform to Steam, codenamed Vapor, and internal red teaming tools. We can confirm a breach has taken place, Twitch stated, adding, "Our teams are working with urgency to understand the extent of this. We will update the community as soon as additional information is available. Thank you for bearing with us." For more on the story, see VGC. FCC combats SIM swapping scams. The United States Federal Communications Commission put out a press release this week announcing that it is beginning the process of new rulemaking to combat cell phone hijacking scams like SIM swapping and port-out fraud. SIM swapping occurs when a bad actor convinces a mobile carrier, either through trickery or bribery, to transfer an account to a different SIM card. In some cases, SIM swapping has been done without a mobile carrier agent's participation, when the hacker simply exploited vulnerabilities in the carrier's software. Port-out fraud is the same scam, except the bad actor has the account transferred to another mobile operator instead of another SIM card. For more, see the record. Users scammed by No Time to Die fakes. Researchers are warning users to be wary of any online entities offering streams of the new James Bond movie No Time to Die, because hackers are using this film as a lure to find victims. Researchers discovered several malicious files disguised as the movie, containing dangerous Trojans designed to steal login credentials and create backdoors for later. They also found adware and ransomware programs masquerading as the film, as well as a number of phishing websites that play the first few minutes of the movie before asking the viewer to register with a credit card number. After the viewer inputs the card number, the movie does not continue, but the card gets hit with charges. For more, see CNET. Coinbase hacked, customers' funds stolen. Bad actors have hacked Coinbase, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, by exploiting a flaw in the company's SMS account recovery process. Coinbase sent a notification letter to affected customers stating at least 6,000 Coinbase customers had funds removed from their accounts, including you. The hacks took place between March and May this year. Coinbase said it would reimburse all affected customers, and it urged users to change their passwords and to deploy stronger methods of security for their Coinbase account, such as time-based one-time passwords or hardware security keys. This week's must-read on the Avast blog. Is free Wi-Fi safe? School is back in session, and for many colleges, this means a return to campus. Now that faculty and students are now reacquainting with being in person again, we need to talk about the many free Wi-Fi networks offered on and around college campuses. For more information, please follow the link below. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. That was interesting, as always. And for those of you who have subscribed to our newsletter, Bob does a lot of videos, not just on security, but on all aspects of computers. And he has the link to all his videos is in our newsletter. So if you're interested in seeing more of Bob's works, just click on the link and you can see some of the great work that he does. So thanks, Bob, a lot.
Thank you.
All right, let's see what Dewey has to say.
Good morning, friends. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is phone stuff, mainly. Most Apple users are already keenly aware of the mid-September introduction of the new iPhone 13, a revamped budget iPad, and an updated version of its iPad mini. The new iPhones were accompanied with the arrival of a new operating system, iOS 15, which launched as a free software update. Apple also unveiled a new Apple Watch Series 7 that has a redesigned look to provide more of a wraparound effect. Unlike the iPhone 13 and the new iPads launched in stores on September 24, Apple Watch 7 availability was delayed. Apple.com began taking orders for the new Apple Watch Series 7 on Friday, October 8th, with availability in stores beginning this Friday, October 15th. It features the largest and most advanced Apple Watch display ever and a re-engineered always-on Retina display with significantly more screen and thinner borders. Available in 41 millimeter and 45 millimeter sizes, the Apple Watch 7 series features a more crack-resistant front crystal. Apple also says that users benefit from the same all-day 18-hour battery life, now complemented by 33% faster charging. Like its Series 6 predecessor, the Apple Watch Series 7 includes an electrical heart sensor, ECG app, and a blood oxygen sensor. New is the Watch OS 8 operating system 8 to help users stay healthy, active, and connected through features like new types of workouts. Apple Watch Series 7 introduces 5 new aluminum case finishes. 3 are shown in this photo. Stainless steel models are also available in silver, graphite, gold, and titanium. Except for revealing that prices start at $399, Apple has yet to disclose exact pricing. Updating this, a story at appleinsider.com today, Friday, October 7, indicated that, the day I'm recording this, indicated that Apple Watch appears to be carrying over its pricing strategy from Apple Watch Series 6, with aluminum models topping out at $529 for variants with cellular capabilities. Stainless steel versions start at $699 for 41 millimeter and move to $749 for the larger 45 millimeter case size. Apple Watches with titanium chassis sell for $799 and $849, depending on size. Information on the Apple Watch Hermes model was not included on the leaked price list. Andrew Heinzman at ReviewGeek.com reported that Google announced plans to host its Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro launch event on October 19. Its new Tensor chip optimizes camera performance, augmented reality, text-to-speech, the Google Assistant, and other artificial intelligence-powered software. If rumors pan out, the Pixel 6S will be the first Google device with a 50 megapixel main camera lens. Think of that, 50 megapixels. Indications are that it will also feature a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, and its optimized Tensor chip will extend battery life. Finally, the new Pixels may include ultra-fast charging, a much needed improvement, according to appleinsider.com. Apple isn't alone in introducing their new watch operating system 8. There's a flurry of info about the new Android 12 operating system. Last week, Cameron Faulkner, writing in TheVerge.com, predicted that its show-stopping features will change the way you use your Android phone. The Android 12 operating system will first be seen on Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro phones launching this coming Saturday and on a few select other devices later this year. Mr. Faulkner writes, for the most part, it's still Android. You can still easily get by without using the smattering of new features that Google buried in settings. The most obvious change is the new Material U design, Google's biggest design change in Android history. There's more color and more fun shapes. Android 12 design can look as loud or as subdued as you'd like. The animations you'll see when you power your device on or off or plug it into a charger all look refined and fluid. As the photo shows, it's possible to have a more understated look with icon colors to match. According to Android developers, Google says Android 12 will be coming to Samsung Galaxy, OnePlus, and other lesser well-known devices later this year and into 2022. However, since manufacturers use their own custom Android wrapper, Google's big Material U design may not have the same amount of customization that you'll find on one of the new Pixel phones. That will make Ron happy. AndroidCentral.com revealed a few days ago that the coming Android 12 operating system will officially bring back dessert name monikers for its operating systems after discontinuing them after Android 9. Android 12 will be called Snow Cone. Looks yummy. Here are Android operating system dessert names in the last decade, that's since 2011. By the way, dessert names are also in alphabetical order. Like operating system 3 was Honeycomb, 4 Ice Cream Sandwich, 4.1 Jelly Bean, 4.4 Kit Kat, 5 Lollipop, 6 Marshmallow, 7 Nougat, 8 Oreo, and 9 Pie. I have an Android Galaxy S8 and it's on Pie. Google has confirmed that it's shutting down its Android Auto app for phone screens with the coming Android 12 operating system, according to John Porter in TheVerge.com. Instead, anyone who wants a driving-friendly interface for their Android phone should use the Google Assistant driving mode, which is available within Google Maps, or the native Android Auto interface that is available in select automobile models. Those who've been using the Android Auto mobile app will be transitioned to the Google Assistant driving mode. An article last week in lifehacker.com strongly advises against speaking when you get a robocall. Even a one-word answer of yes could put you at a risk for scam. A scam. In rare cases, phone scammers can record your voice with the intent to impersonate you in order to make fraudulent purchases, but it's more likely they're simply confirming your phone number is active and can be used or sold for scams later. Or better yet, it's advised, just let those calls go to voicemail. Well, I'll tell you, I have a little different take on it. I freely admit I don't want to clog my, first of all, I don't want to clog my voicemail with such robocalls. So what I do is I put on sort of a phony brogue and answer these robocalls by saying, hello? Well, it doesn't take but a couple of moments. There's a moment of silence and all of a sudden there's a click. I almost never get an answer. Anyway, that's my tech talk story for today. And the good Lord knows I'm having so much fun with this. I am sticking with it. Please stay safe, and the good Lord willing, we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Dewey. That was great. I look forward to next week. Hewie, are you ready to roll?
Oh, am I? And I do want to say that, let's see, I got to find the right one here. This is a little bit different for me, some of the ones I've been doing. So enjoy. I guess I got to start it.
Mm-hmm.
You know the drill. Please like and subscribe to our channel. SOTD, Sight of the Day. I'm Hewie Poplock. Site of the Day is a mailing list. It comes from a free service called Free Lists, in which they send out 5 emails a week, Monday through Friday, one each day. They have many topics. The particular one that I'm talking about is called Site of the Day. Here is a typical email that I get each day of the week, but they have been sending them for well over 20 years. They've been using free lists since 2002, and all of the old emails are available with the links going back that far. Note, the first one that I have a record of that I received was back in 2001 when they were using a different service, but were still sending out the Site of the Day emails Monday through Friday. Here's a typical list. This is October's. Obviously not too many because we are new into the month. But here's September. 5 days each week for the entire month. Not all are technical in scope, but some are. The one we're going to talk about today really isn't, but I will mention a few that are. Here's one. It's called the Fast Company Tech, and it was talking about Fast Company and their tech page. And it has a link. And then on that page, when you go to it, it gives you some information about technology. Another one was how Boston Dynamics taught its robots to dance. And that goes back to September 8th of this year. And here is the article in which they were referring to. Back in 2017, they talked about OS X Daily, or the OS X Daily, for Mac items. It's still being produced, and here is a current example of their page. One of my favorite utilities is Everything, and I've talked about Everything at several of my meetings. It's software, and you can go from the link from their page to where you get more information and can download the software. On Thursday of this week, I received the Site of the Day that had 25 words that are their own opposites. I thought this was an interesting article. It's from a website called Mental Floss. Keeps your mind going. Here is the page with the information about 25 words that are their own opposites. So let's do a short presentation on words that are their own opposites using some of the information from this website. So thanks to Site of the Day and to Judith Herman, who wrote the article that it points to. So here's an ambiguous sentence for you. Because of the agency's oversight, the corporation's behavior was sanctioned. Does that mean because the agency oversaw the company's behavior, they imposed a penalty for some transgression? Or does it mean because the agency was inattentive, they overlooked the misbehavior and gave it their approval by default? We've stumbled into the looking glass world of contronyms, words that are their own antonyms. Sanction, via French from Latin sancto, from sanctere, or ratify, can mean give official permission or approval for an action, or conversely, impose a penalty on. Oversight is the noun form of two verbs with contrary meanings: oversee and overlook. Oversee, from the Old English overscion, look at from above, means supervise. The medieval Latin for the same thing, super or over plus videre, to see. Overlook usually means the opposite: to fail to see or observe, to pass over without noticing, to disregard or ignore. Left can mean either remaining or departed. If the gentlemen have withdrawn to the drawing room for after-dinner cigars, who's left? The gentlemen have left, and the ladies are left. Dust, along with the next two words, is a noun turned into a verb, meaning either to add or to remove the thing in question. Only the context will tell you which it is. When you dust, are you applying dust or are you removing it? It depends upon whether you're dusting the crops or the furniture. Seed can also go either way. If you seed the lawn, you add seeds. But if you seed a tomato, you remove them. Stone is another verb to use with caution. You can stone some peaches, but please don't stone your neighbor, even if he says he likes to get stoned. The word trim. Depending upon who or what was being readied, it could mean either of two contradictory things. To decorate something with ribbons, laces, or the like to give it a finished appearance, or to cut off the outgrowths or irregularities of, and the context doesn't always make it clear. If you're trimming the tree, are you using tinsel or a chainsaw? Resign works as a contronym in writing. This time we have homographs, but not homophones. Resign, meaning to quit, is spelled the same as resign, or meaning to sign up again, but it's pronounced differently. Fast can mean moving rapidly, as in running fast, or fixed, unmoving, as in holding fast. If colors are fast, they will not run. The meaning firm, steadfast, came first. The adverb took on the sense strongly, vigorously, which evolved into quickly, a meaning that spread to the adjective. Off means deactivated, as in to turn off, but also activated, as in the alarm went off. Weather can mean to withstand or come safely through, as in the company weathered the recession. Or it can mean to be worn away, as the rock was weathered. Help means assist, unless you can't help doing something, when it means prevent. Continue usually means to persist in doing something, but as a legal term, it means to stop a proceeding temporarily. Fight with can be interpreted opposite ways. He fought with his mother-in-law could mean they argued. They served together in the war. Go means to proceed, but also give out or fail. As an example, this car could really go until it started to go. Out can mean visible or invisible. For example, it's a good thing the full moon was out when the lights went out. Out of means outside or inside. I hardly get out of the house because I work out of my home. Toss out could either be to suggest or to discard. I decided to toss out the idea. Can't get enough of them? The folks at Daily Writing Tips have rounded up even more. There's the website. Here's what it looks like, and you can see that there is a whole great big list of 75 contonyms. Again, you can go back and look at any of the Site of the Day in the archive. And this has been Site of the Day, SOTD. I'm Hewie Poplock.
And I said English was an easy language to learn.
Exactly.
Exactly. Ask somebody who had to learn it.
That's really interesting. And oh my gosh, if you had to learn English, that no wonder people have a hard time with it. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Hewie.
But going to any of those websites that they send out the emails to every day, some of them are really interesting, like this one. Some of them I'm not interested in, but it describes them. You can click on it and go to them. And I have a whole bunch of the links on the website on my channel, but I'll go out, I'll copy them, and I'll drop them into the chat box.
Super. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. All right. So the next, we'll move into what I have for you today. This is something I think everybody will be interested in, as it's going to help us get rid of passwords. So we want to know about that. Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. OAUTH. OAUTH? Or is it zero auth? What the heck is this all about? If you want to find out, watch the video. Now, if you've seen a picture like this on your computer, then you've used OAuth. If you've had an image come up that asks you to sign in with Google or Facebook, that is using OAuth. Now, you remember the routine. If you like this video, please click the like. And if you want to see more produced like this, please subscribe. Now, OAuth is an open source program that authorizes login between different services. It is used by Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. It allows you to sign in to a service using your existing account login credentials. This is just one part of OAUTH 2, but it's the one that you'll be most familiar with and one that you'll probably use a fair bit. This limits the number of passwords you require. Yay, no more passwords. Yes, you don't have to use a password now to log in using OAuth. It's secure and should be used in most cases. And that's it. If you don't want to watch the rest of the video, then just use OAuth. It's perfectly safe to sign in to your new service using your Facebook or Google login. Now, if you want to find out more about this, let's watch the video. So let me give you an example. Let's take Mary, who is a fictitious quilter from Toronto, Canada. She has a Google account and understands the importance of security. She has a secure password and two-factor authentication set for the account. Mary has a Google Drive, Gmail, and a big presence on YouTube, so she understands that her Google account must be secure, and she guards that very carefully. Now, Mary has just been to a fictitious website called the Quilting Company of America. This is situated in Los Angeles, California, in the United States. It's a big organization that sells in many countries. Mary has seen their website and would like to purchase some products, but she needs a login to create an account. How should she go about this? Mary goes to the website of the Quilting Company of America. In the sign-up process, she gets an image like this. She has a number of options. She can sign up with her email account, which means the traditional, she has to set a password. But she also has the option of signing in with Facebook or signing in through her Google account. What should she do? In signing in with her Google account, would this compromise it in any way? Is she giving the Quilting Company of America the keys to the castle? Let's find out how this works. So the traditional way of setting up an account is to sign up with email. And in this case, Mary would sign up with her email, setting a username and password, as most of you do when you set up an account in a new service. But Mary struggles with passwords. She hates them. She has a hard time with passwords. So she wonders about signing in with her Google account. So how this works is Mary goes to the Quilting Company of America. She starts the process to create a new account. Now, she is already logged into her Google account because she uses Chrome and she's always logged into her account. So the computer knows who Mary is. To log into her Google account, she has to put her password in and use two-factor authentication. It is a very secure account, and Google knows that is really Mary. So Mary then goes to the Quilting Company of America and says, I want to log in with my Google account. So the Quilting Company of America then sends Google a request, and it says, hey, who is this Mary person? Is it really Mary? And Google sends some information back confirming that yes, it is Mary. Now it also sends some personal information back to the Quilting Company of America. You may be concerned about that, and I'll explain that in a minute. Now let's look at the relationship between the two services. We have, of course, Google, who is a big security giant in the world today. They pioneered a lot of the security services such as two-factor authentication that we use today. So they have a relationship between the Quilting Company of America. And the relationship is OAuth. And OAuth is the open source software that allows communication of secure data between the two. So Google is going to send a token to the Quilting Company of America and say, yes, this is Mary. What's in that token would be a special code that would indicate Mary's presence and the fact that she is Mary, and also some personal information. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But the important thing to know is this is a one-time token that only contains an authorization code to allow Mary to create a new user account with the Quilting Company of America. It's really an identification. Now, what is in the token? Well, the token can contain a lot of different information, and you'll ultimately get the opportunity to decide if you want the information sent to your new account. And I'll show you how this works in a minute. But things that would normally be in the token would, of course, be the code that would identify you. And there's no security information there from your Google account. It is simply a one-time code that Google sends to the new service saying, yes, it is Mary. But in the token, they may also send, for example, your name, your email address, could be location, your IP address. They will send some information that would be requested from the service that you're signing up to. Now, and that information would differ depending on what service you're signing into, and I'll show you that in just a minute. This is an example I'd like to use. This is when I decided to sign in to Spotify using my Facebook account. So this is the Spotify initial sign in menu, and I'm going to click the sign up button at the top and get started. So let's see what happens. This is the menu that I'm initially greeted with, and you can see it's pretty well standard. What's your email address, confirm your email, create a password, and what's the name of the profile account. So it's asking me some questions, but also it gives me the option of just signing in with my Facebook account. Now, my personal Facebook account is important to me. I'm on there all day long. I have a two-factor authentication and a very secure password, but I'm not worried. So I'm going to sign up with my Facebook account. So let's see what happens when I click that button. So this is the next menu. It says Spotify is requesting access to your name and profile picture. This is what they're requesting Facebook send to them. Only my name and my profile picture. Well, I'm going to have to use my name anyway to sign into the account, so I don't really mind Facebook sending my name. Not sure why Spotify needs my picture, but what the heck, they can have my picture. And then I'm going to continue as Ronald and click the button. So this means that Facebook is going to send Spotify my name, my first name, my last name, my profile picture, and confirm that it actually is me because I am logged into my Facebook account. And if you want to view the actual information in the Access menu, you click View Access, and again, there would be name and profile picture. So once that's completed, Spotify lets me in. Well, the account isn't complete yet, and of course, you'll see here that they want to know my email address, which of course would be a standard thing for logging in, and usually and then of course I have to put my birth date in, my gender, and complete the initiation and application process. But the information came over from Facebook was my first name, last name, and somewhere there is my picture. And this is how you would go on to create your account. But the important thing here is there's nowhere I have to set a password. And when I come back, after I create the Spotify account, when I come back again, I can again just log in with my Facebook account and the token gets sent again, and I'm simply put into my account. So I don't actually have to create a separate password for Spotify. So in summary, signing into a service with OAUTH using your Google, Facebook, or Microsoft account. This service is secure and endorsed by the services mentioned. It makes it easier by limiting the number of passwords, and this is safe and it should be encouraged. This is a good service. I wouldn't usually use it for infrequent sites you're going to go through. You are going to be sending some personal information to the receiving site, and if you're not going to use that site very often, probably better to sign in using a different service. And again, the goal is to help with the password crisis that we have today. You don't have to create a password to do this. Yay! Just remember, this is Cybersecurity Month. I read on a blog yesterday that Google, in observance of Cybersecurity Awareness Month, plans to auto-enroll 150 million users in two-step verification and require 2 million YouTube creators to turn on the security feature by the end of 2021. Yes, if you make YouTube videos, you will have to have two-step verification turned on. Having a second form of authentication when you log into your accounts dramatically decreases the likelihood of an attacker gaining access to your personal information. Well, that's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. You remember now, if you like this video, please click the like and certainly subscribe to our service. It really helps us continue making videos such as you've just seen. So hopefully you know now what OAUTH is. It's safe to use. And no more passwords. Great. So until we see you again, have a great day. All right. Maybe some questions about that in the question and answer period. Ray, are you getting ready to go?
I am, sir.
Let me just sign off with our YouTube group. So those of you over on our YouTube service, thank you for coming today. We're going to be ending our YouTube broadcast now. We'll see you the same time, same place next week, or visit us on Monday for the Monday, or visit us on Thursday for the Tech for Senior live show. Right, Ray, take it away.
Okay. And I want to thank Jim from Glendora for giving me this suggestion a couple of weeks ago.
You are still okay.
Oops.
There we go. Go ahead.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Fine.
You can. Okay, good. I thought I had to move it.
No.
I'm going to talk today about Tony Bennett. He was born Anthony Benedetto in Queens, New York in 1926. Now, for those of you who are a little bit math challenged, like I
I
can
don't
be.
think we're seeing the right screen,
No?
Ray.
Okay. I didn't think so. Let me.
We see your home.
Yeah. Let me do
Desktop.
this. Yeah, that's wrong. This is what I wanted over here.
You got too many screens.
Much better.
All right. Thank you for pointing that out to me. So I talked about Tony Bennett today and the fact that he was born in Queens back in 1926. And actually, that makes him 95 years old. And it was only 2 months ago. When I say 2 months, I mean August of 2021, that he officially retired from concert performances. And that was due to his ongoing battle with Alzheimer's disease. Now, Tony's singing career unofficially began when he was about 10 years old. He, along with Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia, the airport named after him, he performed at the opening of the aptly named Triborough Bridge, which connects Manhattan and the Bronx and Queens. Now, Tony had to drop out of high school when he was 16 years old to help financially support his family. Later, he saw fierce combat in Germany during World War II. By 1949, he got his first major break when he opened for Pearl Bailey. Bob Hope was in the audience, liked what he heard, and helped launch Tony's professional career with introductions which led to his being signed by Columbia Records under the tutelage of Mitch Miller. Now, Tony's first big hit, Because of You, reached #1 on the pop charts in 1951. Another #1 hit came 2 years later, and this is my personal favorite, Rags to Riches. During the summer of 1956, he even had his own television variety TV show. Surprisingly, Bennett's signature song, I Left My Heart in San Francisco, was not a top 10 hit when it was released in 1962. But then we had the Beatles and the resulting British invasion, and that changed the country's musical taste. And the age of the crooner appeared to be coming to an end. Sadly, at one point, Bennett was quoted as saying, "It seems like people don't want to hear the music I make." This led to a brief period of drug abuse and troubles with the IRS. But the 1990s gave Tony Bennett the opportunity for a comeback experience with younger music buyers who wanted to hear more of this new singing style. Much credit is given to his two sons, Danny and Day, who helped their father immensely by putting him on the path to his new successes. This led to appearances on late night TV shows as well as MTV and collaboration with music icons several decades younger than Tony, with, of course, the most famous being Lady Gaga. There is not enough room for me to list all the awards Tony Bennett has received. Rather than even try, let's just hear him sing this clip, 1963, appearing on the Judy Garland Show.
Well done, Ray. That was one of my favorite songs.
Good. Glad you enjoyed it.
Did he write that? Did he write that song?
I don't think so. I think in his day and age, most of the artists did not write their own material. They always
Right.
had people in the record company who wrote the songs. Very different today.
Yes. All right.
Well,
Well,
that's where the money's made.
yes. Thanks so much, Ray. It is top of the hour. Wow, another hour has gone by. What a lot of fun we had today. Again, thanks everyone for coming. We'll be moving shortly into our question and answer phase. Those of you who have to leave, remember that we have our premiere service coming on at 1:30. This will, if you want to know how to get there, just go to our webpage, techforsenior.com, and there's a big button there, and you click on that, and that'll take you right to our YouTube page, and that's when you can see the show we have for you today. Now we're going to move into the question and answer. In the reactions at the bottom, there's a lot of people here in the show today, so it's hard to see everybody on one screen. So at the bottom there's a reaction button. If you click the reaction button, you will see to raise your hand, as Hewie has done. And when you raise your hand, then what happens is you pop up to the top of the screen and we can see you. So that's just great. And we will be able to answer some questions or comments. So I wonder what Hewie wants. Hewie's got do you have a question or a comment? What do you want?
Well, let's start with a comment, which may lead into a question. But when you sign in using Facebook, it would work fine long as Facebook is online. But when Facebook went offline, that was one of the results of anybody who was trying to sign in to another website, even though that website was up, because they couldn't sign in using Facebook, because Facebook couldn't give them the okay. And a lot of the Facebook people, they couldn't get into their offices because they were authenticated using their card, which read and let them into their office. And because they weren't online, it wouldn't authenticate them. They couldn't even get into their own offices to try to fix some of the problems they were having. So it was an interesting conundrum, needless to say, when Facebook had their outage last week.
It was probably a bad choice for me to use, but it just happened to Spotify only use Facebook. Had Google been the option, I would have chosen Google because it was a bad choice. However, having said that, one of the things you have to remember is if you decide that you don't want to use Facebook or Google, then you can certainly log in. You can create a password. You just go to, you want to create a password, and you can create a password and convert to another way. You don't have to always use that. So you do have some options there.
Yeah, and the second thing is Betty Sheets was on my show yesterday, and she's on today, and she's having much too much fun with all of the different things. And I just wanted her to know that at least somebody is saying it.
You're not alone.
All right, Roberta, go ahead.
Well, that was kind of my question I posted in the chat thing. And what if you change? Oh, so you don't always have to use that OAUTH thing then.
No, you can set up a password. You can set up a password and use a password as well.
So while Facebook was down, you could set up a password and go ahead and log in.
Sure, correct. Not a problem.
That was my question.
Sure, and you got to remember. I mean, when's the last time Facebook was down for that? I mean, it's a very unusual situation. And again, you can log in with Google as well.
They were down again yesterday for 2 hours.
Were they?
Yeah.
Well, you can also you can use Google for logging in as well. So you don't have to use Facebook. It's just going to send a token. Really, what it wants to do is once your account is created, you can log in with either Facebook or Google. It doesn't matter. All they're sending is a token over to the service to say this is Roberta, and it's because you don't have to put a password in. So that's all that's happening. Did that answer your question, Roberta?
but I have a personal email that I use for Facebook, and for Google, I use my business email. So I think that would be a problem.
It doesn't always, your email, it depends on the service. As in the example that I gave with Spotify, even though I had to put my email address in, Spotify did not request your email from Facebook, my email from Facebook. It wasn't one of the features that it sent over. It only sent over my first and last name and my profile picture. Probably so it didn't ask for my email. And you have the option of either prior, as you're going through the process, you have the option of saying, no, I don't want you to, send that information over. So you can choose that and just say no. I was trying to show you that as well. However, you have to remember that this is also OAUTH it's a relationship between Google and the service that you're trying to log into. So Google is very important, and they're very concerned about security. So this is sanctioned by Google and Facebook. It is a very secure way of doing things, or certainly Google wouldn't be interested in doing this. So it is a very effective way. And rather than writing your passwords down, or what a lot of people do is use weak or poor passwords, or they use the same password over and over again because they can't remember passwords. This is a very effective way in doing that.
No, I use Flash ID. I have hundreds of passwords.
Yes, exactly. Murray, go ahead. Murray from the hospital bed.
Hi. Okay. This is I'm going to have to watch the video again before I ask my questions about co-auth, because I missed something, but I'm not sure what. But anyway, I have a question. I think it's for Chris. It's about the transition in Google Photos and Google Drive that I don't quite understand, because I don't want to mess things up. What I have right now is I have, let's say on one computer, on more than one, I have something like.
Just hold on. Just hold, Murray. Just hold. Is Chris here? Chris listen?
Yeah,
oh, okay, good. Okay, I can't see you. Go ahead, Murray.
Yeah.
Then, sorry.
Okay. So anyway, I have on, let's say on my E drive, I have something called Google Photos, which I have synced and I guess the equivalent of mirrored to what was photos.google.com. And that has, I uploaded everything I could possibly get uploaded before the magic cutoff date for free stuff. So I've got thousands and thousands of photos and videos and stuff that would probably take way over my limit. But then on Google Drive, I have everything that's not photos. I sort of have another folder that is synced to the Google Drive. And on that, on at least the way it was before, I have all of my stuff that is not photos or videos. And I'm not sure I understand how I keep that arrangement, and I don't want to mess things up. I don't want to lose all those photos and videos that I had on Google's photos.com. And I don't know if I'm losing that now or what's going to happen to it or how I do all of that. And I've tried to look at videos, but it doesn't seem to cover that case. It seems to want to find all your photos on your computer. It doesn't seem to go to what I've had set up before.
It sounds to me like you're all done. You're fine. The procedure to upload from your computer to Google Photos is a one and done. So if you uploaded those thousands of photos from your eDrive to Google Photos, you're done. There is no syncing in using the drive for desktop. So
okay.
You're done. You're fine with Google Photos.
Except that I would want to have it mirrored so that so that I can use them offline.
Nope. You can't do that with Google Photos. Only with Google Drive. So if you wanted to put those thousands of photos into Google Drive.
No, I don't want to do that.
No,
I don't want to use up all my space.
You don't. But
and if I have accidentally done that somehow, will I have lost them in the Google Photos?
No, as I say, the transfer up to Google Photos is a one-way ride.
Okay, so I can always download any photos I have in there if I want to.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That clarifies. So I just follow the instructions and let it do its stuff.
Hey, Phil.
Yep. Google Photos and Google Drive are completely separate.
Okay, well, let's hope, because I thought I saw after I did this under the, whatever they call the new thing, I think, or whatever it is, I think that they said that I have a whole bunch of photos in there, which I didn't want.
You could have some photos in Google Drive, but that's completely separate from your Google Photos. So look at Google Photos. If you see all your photos there, you're done. You're fine.
Okay. Well, thank you for the hint. And then I'll just delete all the stuff that isn't photos in Google Drive then, if I see them all in Google Photos.
There you go.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer, because I was very confused about that.
Yeah, thanks, Maria. I hope you get well, and we'll talk to you next week. Jim, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to take a tip from Bob, since this is Cyber Security Month. If I remember, Bob, you correct me if I'm wrong. His suggestion was that instead of using Google or these others for saving a password, that you use a password manager and use your own password or passphrase and email address. And that saves you from the problem of one of those things go down or it gets hacked.
Sure.
That's one of the alternatives that's available. That's correct. With passwords, you now have several different choices. Password manager, using directly to log in via YouTube, via Google or Facebook, or even within your browser, Google browser, you can go ahead and let it do your passwords for you also. That's also safe.
So just to let everyone know that the idea for making that video came from last week Steve Dotto's show on Dottotech, and last Wednesday's show. He talked about exactly this issue and using Authy and how safe it was, and he was encouraging as well. And so I thought, it's always been confusing, and I've always wondered how this actually works, and I've always been a bit worried about signing into another service with my Google account, because my Google account is so important. But once you understand how it works, and in fact this is sanctioned and authorized by Google, they want you to use this, it is a very, very safe way of doing things, and negates the fact that you have to have a complicated password. So it is a good service, and I think I'm going to certainly use it more often now, and so I wanted just to clarify this and let everybody understand that. So
even if you had an uncomplicated password in Google, using that service would make it safe and secure whatever you use to sign in with Auth.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
You should still secure your password at Google, but I'm saying even if you didn't have one, that would still wind up securing the other sites.
Yes. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I just see, I want to make two comments on using sign in with Google or sign in with Facebook. I only use sign in with Google. I don't trust Facebook as much as I trust Google. So, but two things. If you used that process to sign in to Spotify, for example, if Spotify ever got hacked and got all the user information, they don't get your password because there was none.
Right. Correct.
Your password is just over at Google. Second thing, I like using the sign in with Google for places that I'm not sure how often I'm going to use, because I can go to my Google account and see a listing of all the sites that I have used sign in with Google on, and I can say, oh, I'm not using that one at all anymore, and I can delete it. I can remove the authorization. So those two things.
Yes, it works. It works very well, and I certainly am going to use it a lot more often now that I understand how it works, and so I hope everybody here does as well. And you shouldn't be afraid of it. I don't, Chris, I have your same anxiety about Facebook, but it is only a token that is being sent with a code. So there is no personal information that is going there. Other in my case, in this situation, was a picture of me and my first name and last name. It didn't even send my email address. And that depends on what the service asks for. You know, if the Quilting Company of America asks for my email list, all my pictures of my, you know, this, and this, and, you know, ridiculous requests like that, then of course you have the opportunity of saying, no, I don't want to do it this way, and just creating a username and password, right? It's your choice to decide what you want to do.
Yeah, it's really not the personal information that is my objection. You know, there's two theories about passwords. It's don't put everything in one basket, or I subscribe to the yes, put everything in one basket and then watch that basket very, very carefully.
Exactly.
So,
and that yes, exactly.
That's why I use Google, and I don't use Google and Facebook and the other one. Just
right.
There was a question in the chat, and it had to do with the fact that they have a Google account, but they don't use Gmail. The question was, can I still sign in with Google? And of course you can.
Sure.
You have a Google account.
Right. Correct. Roberta, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Recently, I had an occasion where I wanted to delete an old login that I had created a long time ago. How do you do that? Like, in my Splash ID, I keep the date of when I set that password up. And if I'm not using that account anymore, I don't know how to delete it.
Delete it from where? Where are you talking about deleting it from?
Say it was with Spotify or with XYZ company.
Right, but are you?
I have an email and a password to log in from 5 years ago.
Right. Well, you could just delete the account. You could either go to the, go to Spotify and log in and then just close the account. You could do that. Or if you're storing your password in your password manager, or if it's on a browser-based password, you can just delete the entry and it goes away.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of the account being open somewhere.
You have to close the account.
Yeah, probably best to close the account.
Right.
Yeah,
deleting it from your password manager doesn't delete your account, and the company still has your information, and it could still get hacked.
And so I want to get rid of that account, but I don't know.
Then you have to go to that server, and from that service, delete your account.
Yeah, each website's going to have their own way of having you delete the account or close the account.
Okay, Murray, did you just leave your hand up, or are you, do you have another question? He probably just left it. Probably left his hand up. All right, go ahead, Steve, go ahead.
What I was doing was I was playing with the video background that you get on Zoom. Other people earlier saw the roller coaster effect one that I had in there. Yeah, so I did a little bit of video editing to it and changed it around and then reversed it so that it looks like you're in the roller coaster. Well, anyway, what I wanted to try and do, there's a site called armchairtourist.com. I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but it's also on TV. There's a channel for it, and they show short little video loops, and you have to guess where in the world this video loop was taken. What I want to try and do is to save the video file that they've got on the site and play around with those to use those as the background virtual for the Zoom. Do you know any way of actually getting the files that they've got on Armchair Tourist?
Sure. I mean, the easiest way to do that would be to do a screen capture of it just as they're playing. Like I do that all the time. Is just do.
Yeah, but that'd only give you a still image though. If you do
no. It'll record the video. We do that all the time. So you can,
Screencast-O-Matic is free. You can use it.
I use a program called Camtasia. Bob
Yeah.
uses Screencast-O-Matic, which is
Well,
free.
free version of Screencast-O-Matic will capture the video.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so Steve, there's lots of, all you have to do is just capture the video, and there are lots of options for that. The other way that you can do it is this on YouTube, or is it on a website?
No, it's on a website called armchairtourist.com.
Can you see the MP4 file? Is it an MP4 file? Can you actually see the source?
That's what I was trying to find, but
you might not be able to see the file. In other words, you can't see the file, you can't download it. But if you could see the file, then you can certainly download it. But the easiest way is just to record. I do it all the time. In fact, the video you just saw, I recorded it from PowerPoint and did a screen capture on it, and that's how I made the video. So it's very simple to do. There's a ton of programs out there that you can do that. It's very easy to do.
Just remember, there are copyright limitations, and
right.
Yep.
What you're doing may not have any issues, but you never know.
Good point. Good point, Hewie. Thank you. Listen, with that, it is now 20 past the hour. I'm going to let everyone have a break. We're going to end the meeting now, and we will see everybody in another week. Just remember, for those of you who want to watch the premiere service at 10:30 or half past the hour, I'll be talking on, which again, Steve, this may have some effect for you. If you want to watch the
you have to have YouTube premium to do that.
No. It's called the premiere. It's not a premium. It's premiere. Premiere. And the only thing about premiere means it's coming on. In other words,
I tried to get it last week and I couldn't. I don't know why.
No, you don't need it. It's all, but it's not there yet. It's going to start at 10:30, and that's what they mean by the premiere.
Okay.
So
and then for OAUTH, I just have one quick question: is the correct procedure to first create the OAUTH account?
No, you don't do. No, there's no. You will never see OAUTH. There's nothing. You'll never see it.
It's completely hidden. Just when you log in with Google.
No, you just log in with Facebook or Google. You don't create anything.
Oh, so I've been using it all the time and not knowing it.
No, yeah, exactly. You're using it all the time. And so don't forget that. So I'll be talking on the making of tech for senior part 1, which will be involved on video editing, how to create videos, uploading into YouTube, and all that good stuff. And then Hewie's going to be talking on making GIF files from PowerPoint. So that'll be coming up at half past the hour. I want to thank everyone for coming, and we will see you in another week. If you want to come and have coffee and talk news with us, Ray Baxter is going to join us this Thursday, and we will have a great time talking about all sorts of technology. Keep in touch with our Facebook page if you want to find out what the latest technology is. And we will see everybody either on Thursday or next Monday for another great show. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Ron.